Hi guys, welcome back to my workshop. I don't know what I'm going to make, but I'm going to make something key related, I think. Sometimes I just come out here and I don't know what I'm going to do, but I just feel the need to make something, so I think I'm going to use my new rolling mill and see if I can make something waffle textured. Trouble is I don't really have anything with a waffle texture. So I've got this copper mesh, but this is a soft metal, so it's not ideal for imprinting a texture into anything else. It really needs to be a hard metal like steel. This is my bag of sheet metal. These are really good shears. They cut through quite thick metal. The shears slightly warp the metal when you cut it, so I need to flatten it back out again. So this is my planishing hammer. Just stick that on there. Couple of those, and now it's nice and flat. So this is where I heat everything up, and this is where I'm going to anneal this little piece of silver. Annealing makes it softer, so the act of hammering, rollering, any kind of friction applied to the metal, to the silver, will harden it. So putting it through the rolling mill will make it harder, but at the moment this is already hard, and in order to put a texture into it I need to make it softer, so I have to anneal it with fire. Now you can see it's starting to go pink. And now we stop. And now that's fully annealed. And I need to clean it off because the act of heating sterling silver makes it go black. You have to pickle it, so it goes into my pickling pot over here, which is a mild acid that will eat away the fire scale. And just ignore all of the junk in the back. We're slowly working our way this way to make more space for my jewellery business, and the junk gets shoved back there. For the copper, and then I've got my silver, and these are both soft metals so they won't damage the rolling mill. You tighten the roller down so that it's just touching the metal and it will still pass through, and then I go a little bit tighter. This is what's happening. I think it's just flattening the copper, to be honest. Just seems to be affecting the copper because the copper is softer. You can just about see the texture there on the silver, but it's basically just flattened the copper because the copper is softer than this piece of silver. Might have gone too far. Oh. I almost embedded the copper into the silver. Oh, it worked this time. It definitely worked this time. That is very flat. I'm going to polish this up. I'm going to cut a circle out of it. It's not really a waffle. The texture is not quite waffle. God, the seagulls. This is my circle cutter, and these are the punches. So I'm going to go for the biggest one and cut a circle. So I've positioned the piece of silver in here in the largest circle, and I've got a brass mallet, which is nice. It's got a nice weight to it, so it helps to cut through the metal. I can feel the punch has moved it now. Now I've got it, I don't know what to do with it. It could be a pendant, I suppose. I could go on an earring if I make a second one. So that's the texture. Just don't know what I'm going to do with it now. I made this ring the last time I was out here. That's an emerald. And then this bracelet I made at the same time. So I made these links out of a figure of 8 in silver, and then I made joining links out of rose gold, and they're oval shaped. And I actually made this one for myself. I fancied a different style to my sweet pea silver and rose gold bracelet, so I'm gonna have this one. I found some, I think, steel mesh. I'm not entirely certain what it is, but I tested it out. It's got kind of a waffle texture. It's just basically the squares of a waffle, but tiny. It has flattened the mesh where the silver was, but it's actually made it look more square, which is what I want. It worked. It worked. It's a very, very fine waffle texture. It's opposite to an actual waffle in that the ridges should be coming out. But for a texture, it looks pretty good. Going off on a tangent now. I drew these based on Key's profile. It's printed out onto sticker paper, so I can stick this directly onto some silver and then use it as a template to cut around. I'm going to use this silver sheet, which is 1.2mm thick. And I'm going to go for this tiny little one here. I'm going to go for the plain one, which doesn't have the fur cutouts there. I can always add it in afterwards if I want to. I'm going to go for that one. Change my mind. I can use these blade files to cut out the hair down the side. I've done the bottom one. Don't know how well it's going to show up in the camera. I've just used a hammer and a punch to put a dimple where the eye is. That's so tiny and the metal's so thin that I'm very limited with the kinds of stones that I can set in there. I'm going to do a flush setting for the eye, and he has amber coloured eyes, so I was going to use citrine, which is this golden colour, but I don't have any stones small enough. In this bag of sapphires is I have a yellow sapphire. Very, very small yellow sapphire. It's so hard to see. There's the little dimple for the eye, so I need to drill a hole through, all the way through, that's smaller than my sapphire. This is 1.5mm. Tiny little sapphire in there, I don't know if you can even see it. That's 0.8mm. That would probably be fine for the hole. Tiny little hole. Why did I do something so small that you can't really see on the camera? These are stone setting burrs and round burrs, and they have the exact same shape as a normal brilliant cut stone, so I need to pick a tiny one. I've soldered on a ring at the top so that I can hang it, and now I just need to set the stone in, and then I can polish it and finish it. The tiny sapphire is in. Now I have to burnish around the edge of the stone to push the metal down over the edge of the stone and hold it in place. And this is my burnishing tool that I made myself. I even turned these handles, and basically very delicately pushing down hard around the stone in a circle. It's not going to be easy to show it on the camera though. These are my sanding polishing burrs. This one is a medium, which I used to get rid of some dents caused by the burnisher. And I'll go for the fine and then the extra fine, and then I'll use some rouge for the final polish. Sterling silver quiche silhouette with a yellow sapphire eye. It's the first time I've used a yellow sapphire. That looks really pretty. I actually think the eye size matches well.